cut that out. I'm gonna cut that out. Hello world! Welcome back to another video or something. I don't know what I usually do. This is Ave. Hi! You might know her. She was in my IKEA vlog. She was in the Harry Potter pop-up shop vlog. I think that's it. Also, obviously, she designed my channel art. So the intro, which you will just have seen, and the outro, which you will see at the end of this video, she made that. My channel art, she made that. Ave is a graphic designer. Is that the correct term? That's, if I talk about you with other people, that's how I describe you? Is that?
Well, I am. I'm also an illustrator, which
yeah.
I think is the more fun part of.
Okay, I don't actually know what all the things
but
are.
It's yeah. I guess graphic designer is a thing. Yeah.
So what we are going to do today is something that we came up with ourselves, but which probably already exists. So if we stole your idea, sorry. We're just gonna make this a tag for like very specific people who have graphic design friends. Seriously though, what we are going to do is I brought a pile of books that I'm hoping Ave doesn't know. First, she's going to just kind of talk about the cover and what it looks like in like graphic designer terms. I don't know words. And then based on that, she's gonna guess what the book is about, and that's it. Yep.
That's all.
That's all. That's
really
it.
all.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Should we start with the first book?
Let's start with the first book.
So this is ALIAS Grace by Margaret Atwood. Yes, I just read it in the Readathon of Kings. I brought it because I don't think I talked about the story or like the content in any of the videos that I did recently. So give me some words.
It's quite obviously orange.
Yep.
So that's something. I like the way it's set up because it's really kind of minimalistic, but in a good way. And I like how the letters are like a shade of bluish purple that really matches the orange well, because those are on the color wheel right opposite each other. So that usually works pretty well. And I also love the combination of the illustration and the picture.
Yeah, there's also the author portrait is the same.
That's cool.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I like that detail.
I think it looks really good. And
seal of approval.
And it intrigues me because I feel like using the photograph in combination with the illustration is not just something like, hey, this looks cool, let's do that. It's probably correlating to the story in some way. Now let's see if I know what it's about.
Yeah, just give me your best shot.
Because it's called ALIAS Grace, right?
Yes.
Because
yeah.
The title is smaller than the
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I noticed that's one thing about the cover that in my videos I noticed that I was holding it covering the title, so you can't actually, because there's no way to hold it without like blocking one part of it out.
So delicate. Oh. What's it about? Well, it's probably about the girl in the picture. She doesn't look happy.
No.
She looks like she's from not recently.
Very specific.
That's an era. Yeah. From yore. So I think it's a historic novel. About this girl and about things she's going through, and now I need to make it more interesting because this is just really lame.
Try harder.
I think it's about a girl who wants to design clothes but sucks at it.
Whoa! Okay, it's not. It's about this girl called Grace Marks, and it is a historical novel. I didn't actually do like proper research. I am not sure if it's based on an actual historical history, but it's about this girl called Grace who is accused of murdering 2 people. She's an Irish girl, and she and her family emigrate to Canada. She starts to work as a maid, as like a servant, and it's a really tough life, and she comes from not a very fun background, really poor, and really her father was very abusive, is very abusive. It's all misery, misery, misery. Yay! But it's a really, really well written story. This is only the second Margaret Atwood book that I've ever read, and I like her a lot. It reminded me a lot, I don't know if this means anything to you, but A Madness So Discreet by Mindy McGuinness, which I read, I think last year or something for my YA book club, because that's about a girl who is locked up in an insane asylum when she's not in fact insane. Grace does also go to an asylum for a while, but mostly she's just in regular prison. But there's a lot of similarities in sort of the way that they are portrayed in being very calm and very sane and very collected. So that's what it's about.
All right.
It's really good.
I was close.
She does make her own clothing.
I mean, what you got?
It's called The Art of Fielding by Harbach. Tell me some things about this cover.
So the first thing that strikes me is the font of the title, and it's very baseball-y. I'm guessing it has to do with that, or at least like something American, something very, it has a sporty feel to it to me, and I know shit about sports, like. So that's about as far as that goes. There is also a dude just lying there, just doing nothing with his life. And he even like took off his shoes. So he's not going anywhere either, just nothing. So my guess is probably that this is about somebody who really wants to make it in the professional baseball world, but he never learned to tie his shoes.
You're actually spot on with the baseball thing, not so much with the shoes. But it's a campus novel, and it's about this guy, this boy really, who is really good. I don't know baseball, so I don't know enough about like the terms of the sport to.
He does a throwy thing and then.
Yeah, I don't know enough to talk about it like eloquently, but he is. I think it's called a shortstop.
That sounds like a term.
Yeah, which is like one of the positions in everybody who's American is laughing at us right now. But it's also about, it's not just about the sport, it's also about the friends he makes and some
along
of the
way.
teachers, and it's
maybe the real sport was the friends we made along the way.
It's about him and a bunch of other guys, and it's about the different relationships they have towards each other, and some of them are really positive and some of them are quite toxic at times. It's been a while since I read it, but I really liked it, which kind of surprised me because I don't tend to really go for like contemporary, kind of literary, sportsy stuff. But I really enjoyed the way that the characters are described, and the way, because it's quite a big book, the author really takes his time in telling the story. And I also occasionally wrap this as a blind book date at work, and it always does really well, so I guess I'm not the only one who is intrigued by the story. Now, this is a book that Eve actually owns as well, it's right here.
Yeah.
But it only just came into her possession, and she's not read it, so I'm hoping that she can still say some stuff about this. Yeah.
I'd like to say some stuff because I've seen this cover before online, and I think in a couple of your videos as well.
Possibly, yeah.
And I really love it. This is really my aesthetic.
Yes.
It's just I love the color blue, the little gradient that goes over it, and the tree and the little boy reading. And there's a little bit of gold foil as well to highlight the leaves and like the little edge of the dude and the tree, and that's
foiling always makes my day.
Oh my god, I love it.
Yeah.
And then the title is also like hand lettered, and I'm a sucker for that, and that's great because it's really hip and upcoming right now, so yay, hand lettering. This is definitely something I would pick up to read just because it looks pretty. So I'm really happy that I got it.
That's exactly how I decided to buy this book.
I always buy books based on their covers, I'm so sorry.
No,
I'm that kind of person. I'm just very visually attracted to things. Considering the topic, I'm thinking, since it has like the big tree in the foreground and the little birds as well, and it's called The Shock of the Fall, that it reminds me of falling either from a tree or from flight, because it has birds in there, and maybe that's also because I just read All the Birds in the Sky. But yeah, so it kind of strikes me as a story that has to do with flying and then falling later. And that could be both like physically falling, but probably also like emotionally or mentally plummeting. And yeah, that's also something that really interests me, so I would definitely read that. But that could go all sorts of ways, like falling can mean so many things.
This book, The Shock of the Fall by Nathan Filer, I totally remember that. is about this young man who whose brother dies when he's quite young. This is on the back, it's in the blurb, it's not a spoiler. He has some mental health issues. I seem to recall that he is on the autism spectrum. It might be something else. It's been quite a while since I read this. I also think there is some drug abuse involved, and basically it's about him sort of dealing with not just the immediate aftermath of what happened, but also just with life in general. And it's obvious that what happened is a really traumatic event for him. But what I really like is that there are all kinds of different, like there are letters in there, and there are diary entries, and there's some of the bits that he, I think, writes on a computer or a typewriter are just like stream of consciousness, not really any punctuation. He just blurts it all out. And I think that it's quite a sort of a real way of telling the story. It's not very polished at all.
That is so cool though.
Right.
Because that really, I mean, that's really using fonts to your advantage. I mean, different kinds of fonts like script fonts and typewriter fonts, they have such a personality to them, so that when you read something in script font, you immediately know that you're writing something you're reading something that somebody wrote, and that gives it a whole different vibe.
I feel like it's much more immediate than
Yes.
when you're just reading a book where everything is in one and the same font. It's much more much more personal. It comes much closer, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. I really like that, because it requires less explaining that way. You don't have to explain that you're reading a letter, you see it at first glance.
The last one, I need to quickly read back. I haven't actually read this book myself.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so this book is called A Year of Marvelous Ways by Sarah Winman. This is another one that I was attracted to because of the cover, and I think she gets it. I haven't read this book yet, so there's only so much I can tell you about the story, but give it a go.
Okay, so first I kind of want to touch it.
I know! It looks like
I'm
it
sorry.
should be really soft.
Yeah, it has like the noise filter somehow imposed over it, and that makes it kind of look velvety. So I was just like, I need to check. I love the colors in this, because the orange really pops the way it's supposed to.
Actually, I had a whole different pile of books selected for this video, and most of them had this contrast.
Yeah.
So apparently, that's what I like in a book cover, I guess.
Yeah, I recently discovered that this shade of blue is kind of my favorite at the moment. I used to like blues that were more to the purple kind of the spectrum, and now I'm leaning more towards the green, which is an interesting development for me. But yeah, no, this really looks so good, and I don't even really know what to say. It's just really good.
Maybe describe it, because I don't think they can see all the details.
Right, okay, so you can kind of see the gradient that's going on over here is underwater, and you have like kind of leaves and a fish tail, mermaid tail kind of at the bottom, and then all the way at the top here you have the tiny waves, and there's a kind of a cabin.
I love those little waves, those little
they're
pointy
so
things.
cute.
They're like the edge of a stamp.
Yeah, oh yeah. Then you have like the cabin here in the center, and the hilltops that kind of lead your eye towards it as well, so the composition is really well thought out. It's really simple, but it works.
And I love how there
It
is
does the
just a little bit of asymmetry as well.
Yeah.
Because it is very symmetrical, but also not, with the little boat here and everything. It's just right.
And I love the three little stripes to reflect the light from the cabin into the water. That's
It's really gorgeous.
It's
That's
so
exactly
good.
why well, no, I was attracted to it by the cover at first, and then I read the back, and then I thought, yep, I'm taking this one with me. Bye. What do you think it's about? I mean, I don't
let's
know,
see. So it's gotta have to do with the water, with the sea or a lake or whatever is beneath there. So I'm guessing it's kind of, maybe it's like a modern mermaid kind of story, like fishermen discovering a mermaid type of creature, and like all the hurt that comes with that, you know, the tragic sulky story and all those kinds of things. I would like a twist on that, like a twist on the tragic mermaid story. It could also be like a threat from underneath, like something less romantic but more dangerous. Because he's just sitting there like chill, like nothing's gonna happen, but who knows what's underwater? I mean, it gets darker and darker.
Yeah!
Nobody knows!
I don't know. I don't know what the story's about because I've not read it, but it's called A Year of Marvelous Ways. Marvelous Ways is the name of the main character, which I thought was funny. I'll just read the blurb. I really don't like it when people do that generally, but I have nothing intelligent to say about this book. So, Marvelous Ways is 89 years old and has lived alone in a remote Cornish creek for nearly all her life.
Cornish? Okay.
Yeah. Lately, she's taken to spending her day sitting by the river with a telescope. She's waiting for something. She's not sure what, but she'll know it when she sees it. Drake is a young soldier left reeling by the Second World War. When his promise to fulfill a dying man's last wish sees him wash up in Marvellous's Creek, broken in body and spirit, the old woman comes to his aid. A Year of Marvelous Ways is a glorious, life-affirming story about the magic in everyday life and the pull of the sea, the healing powers of storytelling and slow gin, love and death, and how we carry on when grief comes snapping at our heels.
Ooh.
Do you see why I took the book?
Absolutely.
What I'm guessing is that it is quite magical realism-y, so I wouldn't be surprised if there is some sort of mermaid link in there, especially because of this bit. The pull of the sea is something that I know very well. Basically, I read that and I was like, okay, I'm taking this back. And I'm really hoping that this book is gonna make me feel as warm and fuzzy as the blurb promises. I think it's going to be quite sort of, like not happy, but like almost, not happy in like, yay, we're so happy, but like beautiful. But I think there are also going to be like sad and difficult moments, but because it says life affirming, I think in the end, it's gonna all be fine. That's my guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you like it, I definitely want
Yeah.
to borrow this. So I think what we've learned from this is that I suck at judging books by their covers.
It's also because I think, you know, authors generally don't design their own covers because people who can write aren't necessarily people who can like draw and design as well. Alright guys, I think that was it. I hope you liked this video. I hope you enjoyed Eve's presence on my channel. Give it a thumbs up if you want her to come back, because I do. So I'm gonna give this video a thumbs up. No, but seriously, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching, and I will see you again next time, possibly with Eve, maybe not, who knows? I don't. Okay, bye.